Hey y'all, this is Frank from Get the Gold 777. I'm here with my buddy Tim and his dog Blue.
There's Blue.
Tim is a gold prospector in this area, as well as a musician and a videographer. And he's got some really good stuff. I'll put a link inside the description for you guys to see. But in the meantime, he's going to show us kind of how he decides where he does the prospecting, and we'll see if we find some gold.
So according to my research, there were 2 or 3 gold mines in this area that have been defunct for probably 100 years. I noticed that floods had brought these 3 other trees that have now formed a bit of a dam. And what this dam has created is this entire island here, this deposit of all sorts of gravel and cobbles. The water creates a low pressure system, essentially like a sluice baffle, a giant one. And you can confirm that by walking up towards those logs. There's a pool about 4 feet deep, so everything is swooshing over and under these trees and then spitting out all this material, which, as I said, was really not here the last time I was here, right in front of these logs, because it will trap gold. So we're going to run some test pans and see what we can do here. So here we go. This is most likely a piece of gold ore. You can tell because of the mineralized quartz. It's a much sort of sporadic crystal pattern. It's not the really big chunky crystals. And then you have iron staining, and this is all clay around it, and that's what I'm after. When it comes to this clay, a lot of my time is spent just cleaning off this rock. I really am a clean rock stickler, because I'll just scrape this off. It's a pretty big pan. I think it's like 15 inches. It's a Mine Lab pan. This is a classifier. The size of classifier that I currently run with for test panning and for most of my panning, I think it's about an eighth inch.
An eighth, yeah.
So I pulled that out very carefully. It's not one color clay. There's a gray clay mixed in with a red clay, so it hasn't sort of stratified yet, which I like. It's all about finding the spots where things settle. All right, so I've run a couple of very small shovelfuls through my 1/4 inch or my 1/8 inch classifier here. I have a pan here full of material. Now, I want to be careful because the clay that's present is still very sticky and very viscous. If I were to shake this pan, as you see a lot of people do, to stratify the material, bring the heavies to the bottom, it's not actually going to do that because it's caked up on the bottom of the pan. So heavy stuff is not going to exchange with light stuff. It's just whatever's sitting on top of the clay is going to swirl around. And so this takes a bit of time, but I will get my fingers to the bottom of the pan and really break up that clay. And I'm going to have to do this maybe 5 times, maybe 10 times until I get clean water. But I'll let that off pretty generously, and then I'll pull some clean water in. And then I'll do sort of a batea swirl, and literally rinse and repeat. But what I really want to do is make it so that I can move this pan back and forth and there's nothing stuck. What tells me that I'm ready to begin panning is that I can shake this a few times side to side, tilting the pan forward, and I have everything in that side of the pan. I don't have anything left back here, which means I'm probably okay to start letting material off. Now I'll let my water off, and then I just let off that first bit of material without a care in the world, knowing that there ain't no gold right there. We're getting down to black sand here. Now when I get down to this amount of material, I'll switch to these smaller baffles. Letting this material off can be tedious. Now this last bit of the pan is really fine stuff. So at this point, start pulling it back. So I'll fill the pan with water, opposite way. So I'm shaking the pan side to side. When I'm pulling back, I'll let some water off. You know, same amount of water to the same amount of material. I'll usually do just a little bit more water. I think we have a couple specks, but we are not even halfway through this black sand material. I'm not sure. Am I pointing?
Oh yeah.
You see that right there?
Yeah, it's a nice little.
That's a nice little chunker.
That's almost a picker.
It could be my first picker
Of the day.
of the day.
That's right.
Piece in the center is what we just pulled out, and it was shining in the pan, but now that it's in the tube, it's not shining so bright anymore. So it might be a mercury amalgam.
Yep.
What's nice about this pipette is that it has this little shelf right here.
I'm following the new technique that Tim showed me.
So he's cleaning each rock off there.
Yep, a lot of quartz.
A lot of quartz in the pan, which is good.
All right, finished pulling back. You can see right up here, there's 2 nice little pieces. We'll go ahead and suction it up.
Some pieces of flour here. It's just they're so fine, they're floating all over the place.
Yeah.
You can see that piece right there.
I see it. Yep, thank you. The next one we're going to try is to scrape some of the black sand right off the top. So you can see there's a little bit of flour there. See if y'all can see that. Real small stuff. Shake it down. It's like 3 or 4 little dots right up there. Check this out. Black sand. Doesn't that look good? You can see like one of them right there. But those are micro. Let's find something bigger. We're going to try under here. In this area, underneath. Because the water would come rushing in there, hit whatever's back there, spin around, the gold will drop out and the water will just keep going. So hopefully no critters will pop out. Looks nice. Let's go. Oh, nice little speck. Right there. Here's the black sand from today's prospecting. I know there's some gold in there. 4 very easy sizes to pan. A little jet dry. Break the surface tension. Let's start with the biggest because we know there's not likely any gold in there. Of course, we have been surprised before, so. Not really. Nope. Or next smallest, should I say. No. This is our final size. I can see little bits of gold starting to pop up a little bit, so I'm just shaking them down. The moment I see them, shake them down. I don't want to see them. I want them to sink. It's all gold right in there. You can see it better there. Let's go and dry it out and take a look under the macro lens.